Hello everyone, welcome back to this lesson. We are going to talk about when and while and the differences between them. It's related to our last lesson. We were talking about past simple, past progressive. Actually, we kind of saw the use of when and while in past progressive in our last lesson. We're briefly first going to see when and while, then we will do a review on how we use them all together, like that, on examples. So, when, while. These are conjunctions that takes full sentence after them. We use these conjunctions when we want to express two actions that are related or happening at the same time. After when, we used past simple, which is our short action in the past. And after while, after we use while in the sentence, we use past progressive, which is long action in past. We can talk about the actions that are happening, interrupting each other in the past. And when we're doing that, we use when and while. Actually, we can also use when and while that are happening in the present, again, interrupting each other or almost happening at the same time. But first, we will see how we use them in past time, past tense. We learned how to build sentence structure in past simple and past progressive. That's why we can now easily make our sentences using when and while. I was cooking dinner when you called me. Let's have a look at this sentence, the meaning of it, the long action, short action, and the sentence structure. I'm looking at the before when I was cooking dinner. This is, I can see that this is past progressive sentence structure. I used was because my subject is I. I'm looking at my verb, which is cook. I added ing and created my verb ing. So I can understand that this one is my long action that happened for a while in the past. The timelines, I'm making them a lot, but I think that you can understand better if we show them on a timeline. You can understand better. I'm looking at you called me, the second sentence after the when. We have to put past simple, short action after when, and that's exactly what happened here. This is my verb to. This is a regular verb, call. And I'm looking at the short actions placed at the timeline. It happened here. They interrupted each other. They happened at the same time. You weren't sleeping when the phone rang. Again, we have two actions. I'm looking at them. My subject, you, got weren't. This is a negative one. This is, I can understand that from the grammatic structure. This is a past progressive sentence, a negative one. My verb ing, the negative meaning. I saw the conjunction when. I can understand that without looking here, this sentence is going to be past simple, short action. I'm looking at here, verb 2. This is an irregular one, and the verb 1 form is ring. Let's make this example's timeline. Here is now. You weren't sleeping. You were awake for a while, a long action, and phone rang, short action. While they were having a party, we were studying. And Emma was sleeping. Things got complicated here. We're talking about three actions that are happening at the same time. And I want to look at their meanings and structures. While they were having a party, I saw while. And I can understand that it's going to be a long action, a past progressive sentence. My subject is they. That's why we put were. My verb here is have. It got ing, a party. And here we have a comma, I forgot that. Again, there is one more long action, which last lesson we said that it can happen. Two or more long actions can happen at the same time, and we can build a sentence like that. My subject is we, different from the first sentence's subject. It got were. My verb is study. It got ing. And now I'm talking about a third subject, which is I can understand by looking at the sentence that is also past progressive. My subject refers to, subject Emma refers to she. That's why it got was. My verb here is to sleep. It's got ing. Let's make a big timeline this time. Here is now, present. First sentence, I'm going to mark with green. Second sentence I'm going to mark with red, and the next one I will be showing it with blue. It happened in the past for a while, first sentence, long action. The second one, also long action, happened at the same time for a while, and it's the same for the third sentences, that they all happened at the same time. They interrupted each other. She was at the gym, or I can say, I'm not talking about a specific gym, so that's why I can just say gym. She was at gym while I was driving. Now, I saw my conjunction while, which I understand that after this conjunction, there will be a long action, past progressive. I'm looking at my subject, I, that's why it got was. Drive is my verb, it's got ing. Now, this was the easy part. Let's have a look at the first one, the first sentence. She was at gym. There is no verb ing, but the meaning of this sentence is past progressive. It means that she stayed in the gym for a while. So I can say that they are both long actions. Here is present, which is now, and she was at gym while I was driving. By the way, quick note, the placement or order / order of these sentences while using when and while doesn't matter. We can change their places in the sentence. It means that I will be deleting here, which means that I could write this sentence also like this. While I was driving, comma, she was at gym. These have the same meanings, and it doesn't matter how I write them, with which order. Also, I know that in this particular sentence that they are both long actions. I could replace while here. It would have the same meaning. While she was at gym, comma, I was driving. The reason that I could change while's position is that because they both are long actions. If one of them were past simple, short action, I wouldn't be able to do that. So pay attention to this one. Where were you going when I saw you while I was going home? This is a long question, but don't worry, we will handle it. I'm looking at here first, till when. I'm looking at here. I see the main question here. Where were you going? I want the answer to here, to this part. I can say I was going, sorry, I don't want that color. I was going to the hospital. Now, let's have a look at the rest of our question. After here. When I saw you while I was going home. Where were you going when I saw you while I was going home? It may look like a complicated sentence or question, but it's okay. We will be handling it. After when, there is short action built with past simple. This is verb 2, and the verb 1 is see. Another one, I saw while. That means that after a while, there will be a long action, a sentence that was built in past progressive or continuous. My subject is I, that's why I put was. My verb was go, I added ing, going, my verb ing. Let's have a look at the famous timeline. This is now, present. Where were you going? Long action. When I saw you, short action. While I was going home, again, long action. I can say long, short, and long. I hope you understood this example. Who were you with while I was drinking coffee? Another question that has two actions. that interrupted each other. I'm looking at here first, before while. Who were you with? I'm looking, it's not a past progressive sentence. It's not a past continuous sentence. But it has long action. It is long action. Because being with someone at somewhere is a long action. As we said before, we don't have to use present progressive necessarily to give the meaning of long action. I'm looking at here, since my subject is you, I used verb. We have to use long action, which is past progressive. Now you may ask, after a while, we have to use long action, but can we use, like this one, not built with past progressive, but can we use it with while? No. The answer is no. After a while, we have to use past progressive. Subject was and verb ing. Now let's give the answer. I asked with you and I will answer with I. I was with my husband. Long action. Our famous timeline. Who were you with? Me being with my husband. Long action. Drinking coffee, also long action. When I crashed my car, the radio was playing. This is an affirmative sentence. Both of them are affirmative. I saw when, it means that I will have a short action after that. Right here, this is a regular verb, crash. That's why we added ed. Me crashing my car is short action. As you can understand, both from the structure and meaning, the radio was playing. I'm looking at the grammatic rules of this sentence. I saw was and verb ing, and I can understand that this sentence is past progressive, which means that it happened in the past for a while, which is long action. Like this. This one, me crashing my car, the action of me crashing my car interrupted, the radio was playing, the action of the playing of the radio. While we were on holiday, envelope arrived when we opened it, we saw documents. This is a long one and a good one. You can understand better the subject that we're dealing with. I can see the while at the beginning of my sentence. You know what it means. We will get a long action. While we were on a holiday, again, the grammatic structure of this sentence is past simple, but it doesn't mean that it's a short action. It's not short, instead, long action. That's here, when we were on a holiday. An envelope arrived. Sorry. As if this is a verb, I added ed. An envelope arrived. I see verb 2, and I can understand that it's a short action. Also a regular verb, this is. This sentence is this. I'm looking at the second sentence. When we opened it, I see verb 2 and I see when. That's why it has to be a short action. We saw documents. Again, verb 2 and short action. Let's make a timeline, actually 2 timelines for each sentence here. This is now while we were on holiday, long. An envelope arrived, short. When we opened it, short. When we opened it, we saw documents, short. They happened at the same exact time. And this one, short action, interrupted the long action. Let's continue with our examples. While the kids were sleeping, their mother were cooking dinner and preparing the table. Okay. As I'm looking at this sentence, I see three actions that are happening at the same time. Let's look at them. While the kids were sleeping. This is my verb ing. I used were because kids, this is plural, it refers to subject she. Sorry, I was thinking something else. It refers to they. That's why I used were. Their mother were cooking dinner. I saw past progressive, past continuous, which means that it is also long action. This is also long action. And preparing the table. Their mother, the subject is the same. Their mother were preparing the table. I added another verb, another action, but the subject is the same. That's why I don't write were again before my verb ing. I will be showing you the times that are happening at the same time. Actually, they are all long actions, so I can show it like this. These three actions are happening at the same time in the past. One more example. She was telling us her dream while we were busy with something else. She was telling us her dream. I can understand from the sentence structure, which is past progressive, that this is a long action. Since my subject is she, I used was, my verb ing, and the second sentence, I saw while, and as we said, after while, we have to give a long action, but it doesn't have to be present progress, past progressive necessarily. We were busy with something else. There is not a verb ing in grammatical structure. The sentence is past simple, but the meaning tells us that this is a long action. Again, our famous timeline. My long action, which is she telling us her dream, I showed it like this. While we were busy with something else, I also show it like this because it's also a long action. They were the two actions. Both of them happened at the same time in the past. Now we talked about how we use when and while in the past tenses, past simple, past progressive. How do we tell them that they're happening at the same time or interrupting each other? We can also talk about how we use when and while in present tense. When and while in present. When I come home, she usually cleans her room. We said that when, after when, it doesn't matter if it's in the present or past, we use short action. And after a while, long action. So I can understand that this one is my short action and this one is my long action. The present simple, the while and when usage in present or present simple and present continuous is way easier than using it in the past, so we can add more examples of how we use them in the past for you to understand better. When the teacher came in the classroom, or we can say here answered instead of come in. They have the same meaning. Came in the classroom, comma, students were talking to each other loudly. I saw when. We learned that after when there is a short action coming. When the teacher answered or came in, this is verb 2. This is also verb 2. This one is regular. This one is irregular. Come, verb 1, and came, verb 2. Students were talking to each other. I saw were and verb ing. That's why I can understand that this is a long action that happened in the past. Why did I use were? Because my subject is students, plural, and it refers to they. That's why I used were and my verb ing. When the teacher came in, short action happened here in the past. Students were talking, long action happened here. The short action interrupted the long action. The short action, which is teacher coming in or entering the classroom, interrupted the long action, which is students talking to each other. Interrupted students talking, which is long action. Now, if we want to review the usage of when and while in the past, let's make a table here. We definitely use short action that happened in the past, which is right here. We use past simple to give the meaning of short action. And with while, we are talking about long actions that happened in past. We can give the meaning with past progressive, or as we saw in the examples, we can also give this meaning, long action meaning, with past simple. In that case, we can understand from the meaning. Happened for a while in the past. Last example of this one, I was at hospital when she visited me. Me being in the hospital is my long action, and in order to give that meaning, I used past simple. We can use past simple with while when it has the meaning of a long action. That means we can use past simple grammatic structure to give the meaning of long actions with while when it has the meaning of a long action. For example, here we said I was at hospital. Me being at hospital is long action, happened for a while, and her visiting me interrupted this long action. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed and understood our lesson. Stay safe. I'll see you on the next lesson.